Did you all know that you can affect how your nervous system is feeling by creating artwork? And before you run away, because I said artwork, if you're here and you're unsure and you're like, I'm not an artist, this isn't for artists. This is for people like you who are ready to regulate your nervous system and take some time not in your brain. Get into your body, move some colors through your hands, and taking just 15 to 30 minutes to make some art, maybe with me today, I think will help your nervous system. By the way, hi, my name is Mackenzie, and this is Big Love Studio. I'm so happy that you're here. If you're ready to get creating with me today, you can pause the video here, go collect whatever supplies you need. You don't need fancy paper, you don't need fancy acrylics, you don't need fancy paints even. You can just grab whatever you have available, think super easy, and let's get to work. All right, so your first step here is that you're just gonna have a blank piece of paper. I taped mine down because I love peeling off the edges. So if that's something that you'd like to do, I've got some frog tape on here. You don't have to do that also. None of what I do, you have to do. I also have this box, and you're probably like, what does this have to do with art? We're gonna make a tool out of this. One of my favorite ways to apply paint is scraping. It's a lot less controlled, but I really like that. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just breaking this into pieces. You can have some smaller pieces and ends like that. You can do like little scrapes. I'm gonna use this folded edge because I think that's gonna be really nice. And then, yeah, we'll have another folded edge there. And that folded edge will also be nice, just as a different size. So cardboard, you've got it. You got it somewhere, right? So this is the worst part, to me, is the blank page. Some people might be like, oh, it's got so much opportunity. It's really not my favorite part because I want something that I can respond to. So I really love using ink. And really, like, the first thing that I want you to do is just put some color down. I literally love to like squeeze this right onto the paper, and just get in there, right? Then you can do something with it. To me, you can actually like move with this now. Some people like to plan out their stuff. We're not doing that here, right? I'm just grabbing different things, and I really want this exploration for you to be about play and just getting into your body. Remember, this is not about the result of anything. And like I said, I don't expect you to follow what I'm doing. You can use similar colors if that feels good to you. But really, my art practice is about like, what's happening here and what can I respond to? And like I said, it's not really, all of this is just like, let's get in here, let's play. Let's have some fun with it, you know? The colors don't have to look good together. You just need to do what feels good to you. I like to wear gloves just because then I don't have all the stuff all over my hands. But really, let this be an exploration. and see what comes up. You know, you might be really frustrated today, so you might get in there and really put some emotion into your page. That's wonderful. Don't forget to breathe while you're making. Sometimes, like, making different things can bring up some anxiety or fear. Notice what's coming up. See if you can let loose and let, a lot of this stuff is gonna get covered anyway. So all these base layers can just be like where you're at today. Like, are you feeling dreamy? And you're feeling like these like fluid lines. You don't have to wait for anything to dry. Are you feeling frustrated and you want some of that in there, or just to release some of that? This is literally how I paint most of the time. A palette can feel a little bit too much to me. I do love to create my own colors, but that's a lot of pressure also. Let's just get in there with whatever colors we've got. And all of this can be covered up. That's the cool thing about all of this. Nothing's really has to be any certain way. Take some deep breaths as you're making marks. And just start to get really present with what's all here. Right now, on my page, there's some dreaminess. There's some frustration. There's some wanting to just relax and not do anything. That's really a nice thought. And see what colors want to come through. It doesn't need to be what you would expect, or really anything that looks a certain way. You might actually be surprised. Like, I love the texture of that. That's so cool. And I love that I probably wouldn't have paired this with yellow, but like, look at what happens when I take some of it away, too. And why don't we get into some of these little cardboard pieces that we cut up? What is it like when I scrape it? Can you start to get curious about what's in front of you? What does it feel like when it does this? Maybe you use your fingers and you're blending. What if I put this bright yellow right there? And you might be like, oh, I really hate that combination. That's all right. Notice that too. It's not about the results. None of this class? I don't even know if I want to call it a class. But none of this experiment, none of this exploration is really about what the end result looks like. It's just about being here with it and whatever comes up. And like I said, most of this may get covered up. So what is coming up for you in your work at this moment? And if you don't like me calling it your work, because you feel like you're not an artist, I'm going to tell you this. You are a creative. We all are very creative. You don't have to call yourself an artist. But just for a moment, just for right now, you can just say, I'm exploring something. I don't need to define it or know what it is right now. I just want to explore. So if you're in this and you're feeling like I'm not really present in my body, let's take a moment here. We're just going to put the hands on the belly. We're going to go back to my yoga teacher self for a minute. And one on the belly, one on the heart, and just take a minute and breathe deep into the belly, all the way up to the top of the chest. Two more times, big deep breaths. And if you're going, just go for it. But this is if you're feeling a little like, I can't really get into this. And just like shake the hands out, shake the body out. Sometimes we need to like pat ourselves on the body. Sorry if I hit my mic. Pat ourselves on the body, get yourself into your body a little bit more. All right, let's go back to painting. Okay, so do I really like what's happening here? It is an expression of how I feel right now. We don't worry about what is happening, because once again, like I said, it's not about what it looks like, although you might come to enjoy what it looks like. And if you're sitting there giggling and saying, oh no, Mackenzie, I'm not feeling it, that's okay. How are you feeling in your body? That's the question that I want to ask, right? We're finger painting. We're just moving some stuff around. And let me tell you a little bit, just in case you're wondering, I love, this is acrylic ink. I love acrylic ink, especially because it creates these really nice like transparent layers and blends with everything. That's really fun. I do love acrylics because I like to cover stuff up when I'm not happy with it, when I want to just like move it and I want something different. So maybe instead of all this green right here, maybe I want this bright red because that's what I'm feeling, right? And that's probably way too much paint, but you know, here we are. That's okay. Too much, what's too much, right? Let's just get this going. Oh, yeah, look at that bright red paint. This is why I like acrylics. And I kind of love how it blends with the green there. But like I said, it's not about what it looks like. It's about how you're feeling. What are you feeling? What's coming up for you as you're drawing? What are you expressing through your drawing? Are you feeling like this little curious chain here. This curious wandering line. We've got lots of red on here now, huh? Like I said, I used a lot of paint, but you know what? It's like 20 cents versus 70 cents. It's not that big of a deal. And what we can do too is take a paper towel and we can say, you know what? I changed my mind. I changed my mind a little bit here. And I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just paint with my paper towel. And you're probably like, why are you not using any paint brushes? And I'll tell you why, because paintbrushes are a little bit intimidating sometimes. We don't need to use paintbrushes. We can use fingers, we can use cardboard, scrapers, we can use pens. There's a million different things that we can use that don't involve paintbrushes. And if you have paintbrushes, all the power to you. That's all right. Once again, lots of paint on here. But you know, I'm having a good time getting into my body, getting into this process. And that's really what matters here. So like at this point, I have a lot of things on my page, and I think what I would like to do is I usually work with a lot of paper as well. I'm thinking about if we can add some of this tissue paper right onto here. I wonder if it'll stick just with the acrylic. There you go. Like I said, getting curious. What's around you? This may or may not work. That's okay. Again, it's not really about it working or not working, you know, or whatever. It's just, can you be here with it right now? Just for the next like 10 minutes or so. Wow, look at all that beautiful color right there. So let's pick, how about we get a neutral in here? Something that feels a little bit more like a neutral. Well, this isn't really neutral. Let's go with this, because I'm feeling like I would like some stillness. This can even be like, you can start adding in like, what do you want out of, if this is how you feel right now, which is perfectly fine and acceptable, what would you add to it to bring in some kind of stillness? Maybe you want excitement. Maybe, what are you looking forward to in the rest of your week here? What would be helpful to you? And state that for yourself. It could be in your head, you know, you might be with your friends doing this. You might be with a partner or your family. What do you want to add in that might represent something that you want to bring into the rest of your week? You know, and the nice thing is the rest of the week is only a few more days. So it feels a little more doable to me to think about, okay, now when I'm putting this online, it is Wednesday. What do I want to bring in for the rest of my week for just a few more days? You know, not planning too far out. Just a few more days. Notice if this whole exercise is a little difficult too. Difficult for you to get into? That's okay. It's just something to notice. Notice if you're breathing. Notice if you're stressed about what's coming up. Notice if you're feeling your anxiety start to go down a little. What's all here? And maybe you were feeling a little anxious about what's coming up on this page. Maybe you come back next week and you try it again. And you think to yourself, I'll just try it again next week, see what happens. I bet this page is going to look very different. So in the next few moments, I'm going to ask you to pause. So I want you to just make some of your final marks here, things that feel good to you, maybe just like a couple more things that you want to add on. For the moment, this can continue after this video, of course. But right now, what do you want to add on here? What do you want to just put a few more things? And maybe what do you want to express? Do you still feel like charged, moving through your body? Maybe you want to stay longer with this piece. So I want you to pause for a moment and take a nice big deep breath. And notice some of the areas of what you've done so far. And really, if you want to keep going on this piece after this, you can continue. Absolutely. I would love if you continued and move into your creativity a little bit more, but just take some deep breaths with this piece. Not judging if it's good or bad. We're not judging that. But just notice, what are some of the marks that came out today? What are some of the color combinations that you like? What are some things that, and really like what you like, but what you're attracted to in like this non-judgmental way. You might be attracted to something totally different in your painting that somebody else is, but like I said, no judgment. We're just looking and observing. I kind of like this little area right through here. I love how these colors mixed through there and the texture that I got from scraping it. I do love this area as well, this little corner. That feels really nice, that color combination. Notice the places where you felt your emotions coming through in different areas. Notice what your intentions were, creating some stillness, creating those moments. That's my intention for the next week or really for the rest of the week, is just in the next couple of days to create some moments of stillness in my practice. And this might not look like stillness to you. That was my intention as I made it. What's coming up as you're looking at this? No judgment. Just all of that big love for this is where I'm at right now. Take a few more deep breaths as you observe what you've created. Notice what feels uncomfortable. What kind of areas, to me, this area feels a little uncomfortable. Those are all my uncomfortable feelings in there. And what feels like little bright spots in your painting or your piece or your drawing. And in the next few moments, I want you to just thank your drawing, thank your piece for helping you move through your creativity today. And thank yourself for showing up here. So I've got a lot of red on my gloves today, and I'm really happy that you joined me. I hope that this practice was helpful for you. And if you'd like more, I'm going to be continuing these YouTube videos every week. We're going to do like a 15 to 30 minute class. So keep coming back next Wednesday for more. And also subscribe to my newsletter. You can get a little bit more in my head about what I'm exploring right now with the nervous system and creativity, the experiments that I'm doing. I also just posted a newsletter today about my Japan trip, and that really flipped everything for me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you next week here too. Hit the subscribe button and like this video because I have to promote this. But do that so you can see the next videos coming up and see what you come up with next week. I'm sending you a lot of big love. Stay regulated, stay curious, and stay creative. Okay. See you next time.